you for real? For real? For real? For real? For real? I mean, it's time you figure it out. Are you for real? For real? For real? I mean, it's time you figure it
Latinos more than blacks and white? What do you mean? You ask or they donate more?
They donate more.
They donate more? No questions asked? Yeah, man. I'm glad you accepted my business proposal. bro.
I was half tempted to actually decline this today. And the reason being is because if somebody actually sees my face on YouTube, that I have either asked for money or that in the future that I will ask for money. All right, I don't want it to be a problem.
Okay. Why would you think that would be a problem?
Because it's not what the truth is anymore. It's what it looks like. That's my mission.
Well, I think
I can give you a perfect scenario for that.
Okay, give me one. Let me see.
There's an old man pushing a shopping cart and he sits down at the bus stop, pulls out a bag of old cigarette butts and breaks out into tobacco out, pulls out a bag of top rolling papers and proceeds to roll himself a tobacco cigarette. There's an old lady across the street trying to cross the street and come over and sit at the bus stop to catch a bus, but she can't because the old man is there and she's scared because he's over there doing drugs. She calls the police. Police show up. This man doing drugs, They search the man, no drugs, no booze. The man, he's just an old man. He's sitting down having a cigarette, getting ready to push his buggy back to his little campsite. They look at the lady. Well, I thought he was wrong, so I assumed it was drugs. So it's not the truth that matters anymore. It's what it looks like.
Facts.
Like,
Perception.
People see this. People see my bike. Immediately, the first thing that comes to their mind is that I have a lot of money.
Right.
Oh, how much you pay for that? Why, you want to buy it? Because really, it's really none of your business.
Facts.
You know? But I tell them, I'm not rude.
Right.
I'm not rude. Mama raised me better than that.
Right.
Just like these ladies in here, I can go in there and I can get anything I want without a dime in my pocket. Why? Because I asked for it.
Right.
I do not need to steal.
Right.
I take my bike over to Metro PCS. I pull the bike inside sometimes to charge it when it's raining. I pull it inside to charge it.
Oh, it's electric?
Yeah, it's a battery assist.
Okay.
It's a Hyper Jet Fuel Series, and they call it the Jet Fuel Series because these colors, the way they are, metallic and vibrant the way they are, those are the colors that float on top of the water when you put jet fuel in water.
Oh, okay.
Now how you put oil in water, it makes these all weird rainbow shit. Well, it's the same with jet fuel, but these are the colors you get.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Well, let me, I don't think, from my experience, and I don't have personal experience, but I've been kind of doing my research to start this. And I think this may actually help you.
You think so?
Yeah, I think this might help you. I think
let's see.
I think more people will. Seriously, bro.
I have lived my life trying to be under the person that's under the radar.
Well, this might put you above the radar, bro. I
This
know
is
you.
I know that, but this right here is done.
And I think
I stick out with that thing.
and as long as you don't have no enemies or nothing that you're running from,
I don't
think
owe
it's a problem.
anything.
Okay,
I owe no
so,
one. I owe no one a cent.
Okay. Well, I think this is going to help
My face is
you.
literally clean as a whistle.
Yes, sir. And at least our bond and our relationship, as it grows and builds, I want to have reciprocity. So
I hope that can you handle the truth is what I'm going to ask. Can you handle that?
I'm all about the truth.
Downright truth.
I'm all about the truth. And I think it's more of, are you willing to share your story with the viewers? And
I'm willing to share my wisdom.
Okay.
All right, the wisdom that I've got for over 30 years, or almost 30 years on the streets of Miami, Florida, and 2 years on the streets of Charlotte.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
A couple months in Denver, a month in Kansas, at St. Louis for a little while, Atlanta for a little while. We've been done back up here. I lived in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. 2 years. I was 19 years old and I was a kept man by a cougar.
Okay.
She was 39, I was 19. All she wanted to do was do the U-Haul and travel and snorkel.
Okay.
And I was 19 years old, young, dumb, and full of you know what.
Okay. So Mr. Steven, where How old are you again? You told me 58?
I will be 58 August 22nd. I was
August
born in
22nd.
1967, man.
Okay.
I have to put his ass in a cage most of the time.
Dang, man, I thought that least, so you might be a damn monster, man.
Dude, I got 5 screws holding my head together. 3 of them are missing and 2 of them are loose as fuck.
Oh my God. Hey, but you here though, so it must be it must be a lot of good in there. So
I'm being trained for something. I don't know what the fuck.
man, it's life. I think life. But okay. Anyway, where are you originally from? We're gonna start from the beginning. Yeah, from
I was born and raised in upstate New York.
Upstate New
I
York.
was born in Oneida Hospital.
Which hospital?
Oneida.
Oneida. Okay.
Oneida.
Okay.
Back in 1967.
67.
My first recollection of a home was a 2-story in a very small town called Knoxboro. Knoxboro was located at the top of a hill my ass mountain, and population was probably about 150. At the time, it didn't have a street light.
No street lights.
No street light.
Okay.
But it had a general store, and you could pick up everything from coffin nails to eggs.
Okay.
It had the old-fashioned, had the wooden floor and all that shit. You know, the wooden bins for the produce and all that stuff. Very done summer. But
How many
first
people in that town?
Huh?
How many people in that town?
I'd have to say about 150.
150?
About 150.
Oh, so that's real small.
Very small, very small. My backyard backed onto the recess yard, to the playground for the elementary school, which was located behind us. So when I didn't want to go to school, my ass took off out of the classroom and ran right to home.
Went right home.
My mother said that the teachers and stuff would call her and say, "Steven's on his way." Yeah, sure enough, here it comes.
And were you the only child?
Up until about 10 years old.
Okay.
My father died when I was about 5. He died in 73.
Who passed?
My father.
Your father? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry
died on a
to hear
motorcycle.
that. Sorry to hear that. Were you the only child?
No, not anymore. At 10 years old, my half brother was born, Chris.
Okay.
And let me just put it this way: I became the 5th wheel of that family because I did not belong. My mother married this new guy and had a kid with him. That was a family unit. I was not part of it. I was the child from the bastard. I was the bastard son.
So you turned
From
wow.
From the marriage before, unfortunately, he passed away. But they still stuck with me.
Right.
Right. My adolescent years were really, really tough. I was given one thing to do when we moved to our new house in 79, 80, something like that. Please pass your grades and don't embarrass us. That was it.
That was your only instructions?
That was it. They didn't care if I got a 65, which was barely passing, or a fucking 105. They did not care. They wanted me to pass and get gone, basically. I had some money left from my father's death, and they did their best to milk as much as they could.
So your inheritance, they
pretty much they used the money that my dad died for to help build their new house.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
My mother was talked to by her mother, and she was talked to by my real father's parents, which didn't live that far away. And they both asked us, "Why do you treat Steven different than you treat Chris?" And she would decline and this and that. My grandparents actually wanted to take me in and give me the love that I needed and deserved, and instruction that I needed, because Jack wasn't giving me shit. No discipline.
Jack was your
Jack was my
stepfather?
stepfather, yeah.
Okay.
He's passed. I don't want to talk ill of him. I'm only going to say this about the man.
Okay. And I can
He's a hypocrite.
I can mute out names if need be.
Okay.
All right.
He's a hypocrite because he told my whole family that I was a useless drug addict loser living in Miami on the streets and this and that. I mean, regardless if the shit was true, who cares?
So,
You know what he turned into?
When did you leave home?
He turned into an alcoholic himself. All right?
So let's back up a little bit. When did you leave home?
I left home at 19, and I went to my grandparents' house first. Well, first I enlisted into the Air Force.
Okay.
As soon as I graduated high school, 2 months later, I went to basic training.
Okay.
I drummed out. Yeah. I was not ready for that shit.
Right.
I was definitely not ready for that shit. And I drummed out. And my discharge is a psychological discharge, so they can never enlist me.
Okay.
Can't even grab me.
Right.
I'm like one of the last 2 motherfuckers.
are you able to get benefits since you were?
Right now I receive SSI benefits.
I mean, so you can't get anything from the you said
From the
the
VA or anything?
Yeah.
No. I have no. There's no. What do you call it? There's no. It wasn't an honorable discharge. It wasn't dishonorable either. It was called what they call an entry-level separation.
Okay.
My paperwork didn't have enough time to go all the way through the government red tape.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, because I was at 5.5 weeks instead of 6.
Mm.
All right, and they recycled me because I fell asleep on watch.
Damn. So
I wasn't ready for that.
so I'm a veteran too. So that's another thing for later. We'll talk and
All right.
and I'll
Yeah,
ask
we'll do
you just to
something
see
else for that.
has things changed.
Another chapter.
When the last time you checked on that?
Oh, phew,
Been a while.
long time.
Okay, so we'll double
years,
back.
10, 15, 20 years.
Okay, we'll double back because a lot of things change. So we'll see. Okay. So
Okay,
we'll
okay.
get back to that. That's
All
another
right.
thing. Okay.
You
Okay.
go.
So you were you got kicked out.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And you
I
said
told them, you need to get me out of here before I hurt myself or hurt one of these cocksuckers in here.
Okay.
And they said, oh, we can't have that. MP's coming.
Damn.
They escorted me downstairs, took me over to another flight. The next morning, it was all lax. It was what they call a debriefing
Okay. the
type
briefing,
unit.
Yes, sir.
You stayed there for a week and you had to go back to civilian life because military life's different.
Right.
They had a pool table in the flight. They had all sorts of shit up there. They had the dude that was supposable house man. All right, the room that he had was decked out with stereos and lights, and he had drugs and booze, all sorts of shit to bring everybody back to society.
Wow.
And well, hey, yeah.
And what year was this? In the 70s?
This was in. I
70s?
graduated high school in '86. I went
Oh,
into the
80s.
Air Force in '86 in October, I believe it was, and I
Okay.
from October to December 1st or 2nd, something like that.
Okay. And at that time, had you already tried your first hard drug, or was that kind of the
I
introduction?
had mixed cocaine with marijuana in a bowl type setting.
Okay.
Put a little bit of powder cocaine on top of the marijuana, but it was an experiment.
Before the service.
Yeah, it was an experiment.
Okay. Okay. So what was your first drug of choice? I think we
Marijuana.
kind of talked, but okay.
Marijuana.
Marijuana.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we was pretty much the first one because of the neighbors.
because of who?
The neighbors.
The neighbors. They
Yeah.
were smoking pot and shit.
Oh yeah, all smoking pot down by the pond. And we'd go out back of the school. And everybody would lay down in a big circle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody facing inward, and we'd all pass bowls around all the time through lunch and all that shit.
Okay.
That was pretty much the big thing back then.
Got you. So how did you get introduced to the cocaine?
When I went to St. Thomas,
St. Thomas.
yeah, Robin, the lady, the cougar, she had more money than she knew what the fuck to do with it.
Damn. Okay. Side note, real quick. How did you meet the cougar to get to St.
Ooh.
Thomas? Yeah, let's throw
I
that
worked
in
in
there.
a Cola Marina Cafe in St. Thomas. I was doing dishes. And this guy comes in and he starts working. He says, man, I need to go over here and do dishes with you, but I got to go out front. I don't want to do it. Can you do it? I said, sure. What the fuck do you want me to do? He says, take this bag of green to the lady at the bar. He gave me a bag, excuse me,
You all right?
a bag like this. Hi, honey.
Have a good day.
You too, baby. Give me a bag like this. It'll look like a pillow.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like a pillow, dude. I said, holy smokes. I went over, I gave it to her. She gave me $80. I went over, I gave it to the guy. He said, fine. I finished the dishes. I went out front and sat down, I was going to have my couple of beers that I was allowed for that night. Because I'd been drinking rum and coke all fucking night.
Rum and coke.
Yeah, Cruiser rum is $1.99 a liter. And yet the liquor store right across the street.
Right.
So before I got to work, I grabbed 2 liters, put it in the backpack. And I can drink all the soda I want. So I grab a pitcher and put ice in it and put Coca-Cola in it and squeeze some limes in it and dump a whole liter of fucking rum in it.
Okay.
And go back there and proceed to whistle my way through dishes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I met her. The next day, I saw her on the dock, said hi to her. She asked me to come out to the boat and asked me if I knew how to charge batteries. I said, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. I took the batteries off the boat, charged them, brought them back on the boat. You know, she gave me the keys to her car. She gave me like $300 to do all this for the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the Antillean boatyard, dropped off the batteries, went to the front to the pub, sat down, ate, a big ass burger and fries, and drank margaritas until about 6, 7 o'clock. Loaded all the batteries up, took them back to the boat. Then a couple hours putting them back down below and starting everything back up. Got it all done, and then she told me, she goes, I can't drive the dinghy, so you're gonna stay here tonight. I said, okay. And she goes, by the way, I'm going to bed and you are more than welcome to join me.
She said what?
She said, I'm going to bed and you are more than welcome to join me.
And
I'm
what?
sitting there, and I'm 19 years old. I got a pretty good physique in a pair of black Speedos. In 1987.
So you had already lost your virginity?
Oh yeah, I lost my virginity with Missy down the street.
Okay, so you was ready.
It was my neighbor. So.
Okay. So
Thank you, hon. Thank you.
so safe to assume you took her up on the offer,
Oh my God.
and it was on after that.
She taught me some shit, but let me tell you something. I put it on her so good. You know what she told me the next day?
What she
goes,
tell you?
your ass ain't going nowhere.
Damn, she locked you
She
down.
goes, when you go to tell those people at Pagoda Marina Cafe that you quit, I'm going with you.
Damn, you couldn't even work no more.
No, I couldn't go off the boat. She wouldn't let me off the damn boat. Finally, I mean, after about 2-3 weeks, yeah. But I mean, I was stuck on the boat for like 2-3 weeks.
Damn.
But hey, she had all the supplies.
She
all
had
the supplies were
everything. So she had the cocaine already there.
She had some. The reason I was able to get off the boat was because she wanted some more shit.
Okay.
And I knew where to go get it.
Okay.
I knew a lady down by Copes Point named.
No. So the female, and this happens with a lot of fellas, the females introduce or in some type of sense have something to do with
Yeah, the influence.
The influence, correct.
Especially me being an adolescent. 19 years old, fresh from having somebody that had their thumb over my shoulder and over my neck holding me down.
right.
When they released that thumb, I took off like a rocket.
Mm.
And I just went and did anything and everything I could. I got over 100 felony arrests in Miami.
What?
From 1989 until 2018. I've been to prison twice. I got a B. If I go again, I'll have a B letter. Number is 1999-34.
And what's a B letter?
A B letter tells how many times you've been in prison.
Okay.
Start off with an O, then it goes to A for the second time and B for the third time. If I go back, it'll be a B.
Okay.
Right now I'm an A.
Hopefully you're not going
Oh,
back.
I ain't going back. Shit.
Okay.
That the only time I've ever talked to the police here in Charlotte, we have parted with smiles on our faces,
Okay.
laughing and joking.
Okay.
Right? They know who I am. They know I'm homeless. They know I live in the streets. They know I have a tent back there in the woods. They know all this.
So they don't give you no hell
They don't give me any shit because I don't fuck around up here.
That's good.
There's a lot of people, all right, that are not allowed in the stores,
Right.
all right, because, well, you know, a spade's a spade. You know, they got sticky fingers sometimes,
Yeah.
and they get in trouble with it. I do my best. I'm not saying I'm a saint.
Right.
Okay. I just do my best not to get fucking caught.
Right.
Okay.
That's kind of the name of the game.
That's it. That's the only difference between the police and me.
Facts.
They haven't gotten caught yet.
Facts.
Shit.
Facts.
But yeah. What else? What else can I?
Okay. So you got with the lady down in
I stayed with her almost 2 years.
and
And then
so,
I got too old, and she found another boy toy, kicked me to the curb, gave me $5,000, said, "See ya."
dang, so she gave you some bread and sent you on your way.
If I would have been smart, every time she gave me bread during the relationship, I would have put that shit in the bank.
Stashing it away.
I would have tucked it away if I would have been smart.
She was a man eater. You didn't even know.
Yeah.
Dang,
That
so-
woman tore me up. Like,
So how did when she introduced you to the cocaine? You said you put it on your bowl, or the first time you
like,
sniffed?
I just put the powder on the bowl. That's all I did. Just to try it, just to see what the hoopla was. you know.
Right.
And it was nothing special, let me tell you. Believe me, it was nothing to write home about.
So how did you get your enjoyment? What turned you out, for lack of a better term? You know, what brought the enjoyment?
Something a little bit harder.
So the freebase, or
Yeah, free base.
was it freebase or crack?
Basically crack.
Basically crack.
Basically, that shit. Back then, I don't fucking know.
And so how did you get it? Did you cook it up yourself?
No, I went to go get the powder for her, and and the dude told me that he didn't have it, but he had this heart thing. He said, "This is how much." And I said, "Okay, here, let me have it." But yeah, I'll bring that coke anyway. I showed it to her. She goes, "What are you doing with it?" I said, I guess you're supposed to smoke things.
Monday I'll have it for
So I did how he told me, and then I give it to her and let her do how I instructed her. And she said, "I don't like the taste of it. It tastes like burnt plastic. You keep it. Go find me the powder." I said, "Go." So I grabbed the shit, put it in my pocket, jumped in the dinghy, and went and found me some powder. And she paid for that too.
Oh, that's from PlayStation. Yeah.
She was a bank.
Something like that. It had a print.
You know, free and clear. She was a bank. Period. I wanted money. in person.
So was she was rich? A little side note. Was
She
she was
got
just rich?
a divorce settlement. Her ex-husband was the editor-in-chief of North Carolina's Mother Earth News.
Oh wow.
Okay, and in the divorce, I think Casey had 1/4. She took an 1/8 of the company's net worth, and well, she had quite a bit of paper and a lot of zeros in the bank,
Right.
and some digits.
Dang. Dang. Okay. So when she kind of parted with you, and
It was a bad breakup because I thought it was gonna last forever. I really did. And when it didn't, my heart was broken and I went crazy.
so you became more than a little play toy. So y'all kind of got serious a little bit
Nah, I did. She
in your mind. Okay. Dang. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
I did. She did.
Okay. Well, I'm sure it might have hurt you, but you got over it, right? You
Oh yeah,
moved
of
on.
course. Of course, I moved here to Miami. My uncle sent me here with $50 and said, "Be on your way, kick rocks."
Dang.
They didn't want me down there because I was getting stupid.
Damn. So what other drugs had you tried once you did the crack?
I had a small heroin habit back in the late 90s, very small, like $30, $40 during the day, but I was snorted out.
When it's like that, it really
I kicked that, and I dabbled in a lot of shit, man.
I'll be right back.
You done?
I tried to escape because
Right.
I can't stand my reality.
Dang.
I can't stand it. I live in a tent out in the woods, and if you know anything about what's been going on with the weather lately, I've been rained out.
Yeah, it's been raining like a
for
week.
like 4 or 5 days now.
Facts.
All right. But yesterday I cleaned out my tent because there was standing water in it and it was turning black.
Damn.
And that means bacteria.
Right.
And no wonder I've been so sick the past couple of weeks.
Damn. So how long you been living in the tent?
About 2 years. I started off right behind the compare. There's a set of white steps, and I went up to the top by the tree, and I had a tent there. And then recently, back in February, I moved from there to another spot.
Okay. Okay. And it's just you, or is it a
It's
camp?
just me in my tent because the white goes in the tent, gets locked to the bench in the tent, and then I get in the tent and close everything.
Right.
Down the way, there's another couple of people.
Give me 1 second. He asked a question.
Yes, sir.
You mind me put you on camera? It's for you too.
I was just seeing what you had going on, 'cause I'm on the field.
You homeless too?
Yeah.
Okay, you down to do a video? YouTube. I'm starting the channel, and so I'm dealing with not necessarily homeless, but addicts.
Real people.
Real people for sure. And I'm a recovering addict myself, so I've been at the bottom, and I bounce back. So I want to help whoever I come in contact with to try to get in a better place.
I'm on
And okay, so I'll pay you for the video. So I got you. Let me wrap it up with
I'm
you.
gonna go in here and I'll be right back.
Okay, bro. Got you. Okay. Yes, sir, Mr. Steven. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. Business is business, bro.
Yes, sir.
Where you make your paper. Far be it from me to knock another man. Let me tell you something. There's more than enough apples on these trees out here.
Yes, sir.
They
Yes,
just
sir.
don't know how to get it without dirty in your face.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the
I
way.
can't stand a dirty face.
That's the way.
Never will you hear me say anything about credit cards or any of that bullshit.
Right.
I don't do credit because it makes my face dirty.
Right. Facts. You want to pay for
I
your
have
own
debit
shit.
for my benefits, but that's it.
Right. So, have you ever had a trade? What's your trade? You got a
I used to
trade?
build roads and bridges for a company called Archer Western out of Miami, Florida. They are a sister company to another company out of Chicago called Walsh. And we do bridges and, you know, the barrier walls. You see the walls that hold up the rail?
Yeah.
They're that concrete there that looks like big squares.
Sound barriers and shit.
I used to set those big squares.
Right.
All right, I would signal the crane, he would drop the square where I told him to drop it, exactly where I told him to drop it, and then I would lock it in, throw the mesh down, and then the guys would come behind me with the dirt and cover the mesh with the dirt, and then another guy would come through with the vibrator roller and tamp everything
What's the
down.
mesh with rebar and shit?
Yeah, basically it's a steel mesh type deal. It actually locks into the dirt that holds those walls upright like that.
Damn. Okay.
Without it, those walls will fall out.
Okay.
Because there's so much weight, and it'll just push the wall out.
So what happened with that? What happened with you in
I
that
had a
field?
problem with holding the work life and home life separate, and well, one thing led to another, and somebody slept with my wife that was on my crew. I got fired because my foreman said he couldn't trust me anymore because he thought that the other guy's life was in danger when I was around him. Because I wouldn't warn him
Right.
if something happened because he was fucking around with my wife. He knew I was married to her. He still didn't.
Damn, old Jody.
So they
Old
were
Jody.
scared I was gonna intentionally drop something on his ass because I was the one sleeping.
Right. And so, were you and your wife able to make a family? Did y'all make a family?
No, apparently I'm not able to. I tried when I was young with the neighbor, and I swear to Christ, we fuck like rabbits.
You and the neighbor?
Yeah, me and the neighbor.
How old were how old?
Shit, well, I was like 17, she was,
Okay,
she was
yeah.
16, 15, some shit like that.
Nothing happened.
My 18th birthday, she snuck up to my custom van in the driveway and got in and said, happy birthday, while fucking tore off all her clothes and fucking shit out of me.
Damn, what kind of custom van? You was a hippie?
No, it had a red crushed velvet bed, red and black shag
Oh, you was player.
carpet, mirror on the side, cooler, cabinets, captain's chairs, rebuilt top half of a 350 V8, mags, all white with black, red, and gold pinstriping.
How the hell you come
Mean
across that?
motherfucking van.
How you come across that?
My stepfather built it. He bought the van brand new in '76 and customized it. That van is actually in a magazine in '76 called Van and Truck, 1976. You see a white van, it's called Star Trek Chevy.
And was it yours at that time, or that's before you
At
got
that time, no, at that time it belonged to Jack.
it? Okay.
I bought it in '85. I think it was '85 or '84. And he charged me full price for the car.
Full price.
Full because he wanted the money out of that account. So they snookered me a lot.
Damn, he was
I wanted
straight.
the car that was $2,000 cheaper, but they weren't going to go for it.
Damn.
They wanted me to have that van because they wanted me to take the money out of that account
Damn.
and put it in their account.
So how has that, your past, how's that influenced you today? Like,
My parents
Was it-
basically have written me off.
it
My
was
mother
all
has
for the
written me
worst.
off. My mother wrote me out a long time ago. All right. Like I said, I was the fifth wheel. I left and didn't come back, and she blames me for that. Well, Jack used to beat the shit out of me every goddamn day. Of course I'm not going to come back.
Damn. Is your mother still alive?
She's 77, she'll be 78 in October.
Have you talked to her often?
I think we texted maybe about a week ago. That's about it. I haven't heard her voice or I haven't seen her since 2017.
Is that something? How do you feel? Do you feel a
Dude,
wedge?
you know what?
You don't.
You know what? I have been kicked to the curb by so many people. She's it is what it is.
It is what it
I ain't
is.
gonna change it. I can't change it. Okay? She's stuck with what information she got from Jack about me. All right. And plus, throughout the years, I've had to call her and tell her I was in jail and this and that. And she doesn't really know me. She's really scared of me, basically, because she doesn't know me.
Have you physically ever hurt your mother?
Never,
What do you- okay.
ever would I raise a hand to any of my family. Any of my family.
Are you a violent person?
I locked him in a cage when I left Miami. Violence came very, very easy for me.
You locked them in a cage.
I locked
Oh
that
my
person
God.
in a cage. And if ever he gets out, I do not know if I can get him back in that cage.
What are you talking about? A person? What?
Me, my friend, me. There's another
Oh,
me
you left
that lived
him,
in
okay.
Miami that,
Oh, my
that
God.
would rip your head up and shit down your neck.
Man, I thought you were talking about literally you put
No,
somebody in the cage
I
and brought
put,
your
I
ass
put
in.
that other personality,
Okay.
that other mean ass,
Okay,
stupid,
so the violent. Okay.
the violent, nasty.
Okay.
I put him in a cage.
So you got him compartmentalized. So
Right now.
So how do you keep him subdued? How do you keep him from coming out?
A lot of people hide their demons. I feed them to make sure that they don't fuck with me too much.
So I'm saying you throw him a bone every now and again.
What do you think I do when I smoke drugs?
Okay. Well, I want
I'm
to make
feeding
sure
my
it wasn't
demon.
a literal bone. Like
I'm
you
feeding
ain't.
my demon.
Okay. So
Okay, and it calms them down and keeps them at bay. And I take away the stress. Now I have literal coloring books and pens because I was coloring on my phone. It takes all my stress away. When I feel like I'm gonna get stupid, I make sure I get my ass back to the tent. Take my shoes off, I lay down and I color on my phone. Yeah, I do not want to hear the words.
and the coloring relaxes you.
It
It's a
relaxes
mental
me,
thing.
gives me something to focus on besides violence.
Okay. And so and we're gonna build from this. So we probably not gonna get your whole story,
Right.
but we're gonna build going
There'll be
forward.
another chapter, I hope.
Oh yeah, nah. Like I said, we had some conversations, so you gonna be my main focus.
Okay.
Hopefully, if everything work out, man. Because you got a phone, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
We
sir. I
get
gave you
you-
my number, didn't I?
Yep. If we get you your own channel, you know how to work it, and
I watch YouTube videos. That's all I do.
okay, well it ain't that hard. So hopefully you get your own channel. You know what I mean? And we try to get you going, man. But
I go in there and watch movies and stuff. But I got unlimited data on my phone. I pay premium price for my phone.
how do you can afford your phone with how you survive
I
and
pay $85 a month for my phone, and I don't miss a payment.
don't miss a payment.
I do not miss a payment.
And that comes from just you hustling.
And that comes from my benefits.
No, you can get.
Well, okay,
I
yeah,
did
SSI.
SSI benefits.
Okay,
So
SSI.
that's how I was able to get my bike after I wasted the other one.
Okay. And how did you get your benefits? You just beat the street and got down
I
there?
applied for it when I got clean and sober in 2009.
Okay, so how long were you sober?
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, I filed away in 2014 when my roommate took all the rent money and utility money and took off for a week.
Oh my God! So, Mr. Steve, we got so much to talk about. So how?
Yeah.
How did you
Miami's a story for you.
So how did you get to a place to get 5 years clean? And how did you fall off the horse?
I was in the Salvation Army for about 27 months. And during that time, I applied for SSI, went to the doctors, jumped through the hoops. While I was there, I went to court and I received my SSI because I'm not able to do what I used to do because of the medication I take.
Okay.
So I got it. And when I got it, the head lady said, Steven, you got your SSI. It's time for you to look for an apartment. 2 weeks later, I was in my own apartment in downtown Miami. Living the life of luxury. Clean, sober, enjoying life. Eating my face off. Watching movies.
So how did you fall back off the horse?
I went
5 years is a good
I just went out
amount
and
of
got high
time.
again, that's all.
You just want to get high?
I just wanted to get high again, that's all.
And that's
It
what
was
it
boring.
did, don't it?
What I was doing was boring. Gotta go.
Damn. And so how long had that been riding your nerves? If
Huh?
you can remember, how long had that been riding your nerves
What's
to where
that?
you broke and said,
What did I
after 5 years, like, because my battle with addiction, when I started, and I kind of did it cold turkey, you know what I mean?
Right.
So out of the blue, I might have that urge,
Right.
and the farther into my sobriety I got, the less I have those urges, the less I have those thoughts. So I'm saying,
I was having dreams of smoking almost every night. It was crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy, and
It's
it just
rough.
got on me so bad. Where I just went out one day and I bought supplies.
damn.
You
What's
know?
your triggers? Like,
Back then it was ice in a cube or ice in a glass.
damn.
Yeah, ice in a glass
Yeah,
would
that
set me
sucks.
up because I was an alcoholic also.
Do you still drink?
No, my stomach won't let me. I have no stomach lining left.
Damn. Damn, yeah, that
Yeah.
sucks. That sucks. Okay, well, Mr. Steven, I ain't gonna hold up too much of your time, man. We gonna build and continue.
Well, if you want to do another interview, contact me, and I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
all
we-
for it.
we-
I didn't think it would be, but I am. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay, and I think you did good, man. And
Appreciate it.
we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yes,
and
sir.
before we go, give the youth a little piece of wisdom or knowledge or
I
something
got
you would like to
3 words
drop
for
on
the
them.
youth of today.
Yes, sir.
All right, and please take them literal. Calm your mind.
Tell them one more time.
Calm your mind. That's the advice I give you today.
And what do you mean? Can you elaborate on that so they can understand?
Slow down. Fast money never sticks with you.
Are you for real?
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up today and we'll pick up later on. Mr. Steven, thank you, sir.
It's time for you. Are you for real? I mean, it's time for you.
Thank you.